like.
Why the C word is still the third rail of profanity, Samantha Bee. At a time when it often seems the public discourse couldn't be any more coarse, comedian Samantha Bee proved this week some words are still off limits. Exhibit A, the C word. The misogynistic term remains the third rail of profanity. When Bee used it Wednesday night to describe presidential advisor and first daughter Ivanka Trump on her TBS cable show, Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, she set off a furious reaction. The word shocks. It's intended to shock, said Corey Stamper, a lexicographer and author of Word by Word, The Secret Life of Dictionaries. Even if you're a person who uses it casually, you use it casually knowing it shocks. Bee's comment fanned the smoldering ashes of the culture wars that were ignited this week when Roseanne Barr's TV show was cancelled over her racist tweet comparing a former Obama administration aide to an ape. On Thursday, few leapt to rescue Bee from her linguistic cliff. "This is disgusting. How is this acceptable?" tweeted NBC News anchor Megyn Kelly. The president's spokeswoman, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, denounced Bee's language as vile and vicious and said her show is not fit for broadcast. Even Chelsea Clinton, a former first daughter from the other side of the aisle, spoke out against the language Bee used to describe the current president's daughter. "It's grossly inappropriate and just flat out wrong to describe or talk about Ivanka Trump or any woman that way," she protested on Twitter. Unlike bitch, whose power has been diffused as it was reclaimed by feminists, the C word has not been reimagined by American women. Many still recoil from it even though they've become grudgingly more used to hearing the P word, since Donald Trump was overheard uttering the high mic vulgarity 19 months ago. The C word has evolved in usage over the years, but it has never been complimentary. Originally slang for female genitalia, the word was put to bawdy use in the 1300s and 1400s, and by the 1600s, it was being used to describe a promiscuous woman, a prostitute, or an object of sexual gratification. By the 1800s, it had settled in as a generally misogynistic term of abuse, said Stamper. Because its root is in genitalia and then in sex objects and then in women, I think it has just sort of taken on this really intense sense of offensiveness, Stamper said. "I think for women, it's different than being called a bitch because it refers directly to your genitalia. For women, it's offensive because you are nothing but your vagina, basically." The word doesn't pack the same punch in Britain, where it's received as a jocular put-down, often to men, rather than a derogatory slur, she noted. By mid-afternoon Thursday, the acerbic Bee issued an apology that sounded unusually contrite. "It was inappropriate and inexcusable," Bee wrote on Twitter. "I crossed a line, and I deeply regret it." The TBS network also posted an apology for the vile and inappropriate language she used about Ivanka Trump last night. "Those words should not have been aired," the statement said. "It was our mistake, too, and we regret it." But the statement did not quell criticism from conservatives, who sensed a double standard and called for the network to fire Bee or cancel her show, as ABC had canceled Barr's. Many called for boycotts of TBS and its advertisers. Liberals, meanwhile, mocked conservatives for taking offense to the kind of language that they didn't reject when it came from the president. And they tried to draw distinctions between a personal attack against one person and a racist smear. Regardless of whether the cases are moral equivalencies, they are not linguistic ones, Stamper said. Bee's verbal barb was much more direct. "I don't think they're parallel linguistically," she said. "One of them uses a word that is on its face offensive, and the other one uses sort of a racist dog whistle. They are used as sort of a way of calling up an image or a reference. While Trump initially didn't weigh in on Barr's comments, only later complaining that her network had been less protective about comments against him, early Friday morning he called on the comedy host to be fired over the horrible language. Many have lamented the slide into incivility and coarse language under the Trump administration. But not every word sticks. Stamper noted that pussy made its way into news footage after Access Hollywood video revealed Trump talking about grabbing women therein. Women created pussy ads to protest the new president the day after his inauguration. But the usage has not become popularized beyond those references, she said. It burned very brightly during the Women's March, Stamper said. I'm still not going to say it at the dinner table with my family. Bea often uses profanities in her comedy and used the C word last year to describe President Wilson during the TBS special she aired as an alternative to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, CNN noted. She said it this week while criticizing Ivanka Trump for posting a picture of herself with her son on social media while the administration separates immigrant children from their own parents at the border. Bea said Ivanka Trump's post was oblivious and urged her to do something about her father's immigration practices, calling her feckless. She also insinuated that Ivanka should persuade her father with flirtation, suggesting she put on something tight and low-cut. It was certainly not the first political usage of the incendiary word, Stamper noted. During the presidential campaign, a tweet from Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller used the word to refer to Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. He initially claimed his account had been hacked, then blamed a staffer for copying material without proofreading it. He apologized and later was considered by President Trump for the position of Agriculture Secretary, the San Antonio Express News reported. The irreverent and profane political HBO series Veep devoted an entire episode to the word, repeating it ad nauseam as the president tried to root out which of her aides had been overheard calling her the C word. Spoiler alert, they all had. The fictitious president's firing of employees to root out the name caller created a public controversy known as CTgate. No word yet on what the Bea controversy will be called.